Well, well. Once again, I'm wearing the Return of the Rider. Pale horse rider, perhaps. I do not know. Can't tell if he's pale or green or orange. This is the third attempt to do VBlog 59. The other three, I found myself drifting severely into personal information about other people. And I said, I'm not comfortable posting that because they're going to see it, possibly. The one time somebody watches my video blogs will be that time, and they'll go, I can't believe he said that. And I didn't say anything really awful. I just, like in the case of Mike Bollier, I just gave away some information that he probably wouldn't want anybody else knowing, at least not the world, as it were, through the lens of this camera. Get that out of the way now. Get it away from me so I'm not waving it around the whole time. But anyway, Mike's moving to South Carolina. And with John Bonchano moving to West Virginia, to Virginia, that leaves the oldest of the old friends, Joe Spinelli, who I grew up with on our Central Street, and it remains in the family compound, as they call it online, on North Central Street, and his family lives there, and I see that being just passed on through the generations until somebody wants to sell it, I suppose. They have two homes there. They have the main house and then Joe's home behind it. They will, they'll be it as far as long-term old friends, people that I knew, forever, I could say. Oh, I still have people that I knew from high school that are on Facebook and that I talk to, but no one that falls in the category of, hey, I'm coming up, can I stay with you for a couple days? Now Mike, John to a degree, though that still would have been a bit of a stretch, to ask a favor like that, and though I'm sure he would have absolutely put me up. And Joe, Joe remains of that group of core, ask those kinds of favor questions. I mean, nobody else has left. I have successfully alienated everybody else. But not always a bad thing. Sometimes people just run their course. It's a simple fact. They just run their course in your life. Or they morph into, I won't say they become somebody else, because I think we're who we are, but who they were was always there, and it just was hidden by, politeness or propriety or whatever, but they just became who they always were. And you discover that that's not who you are, or you had a connection with somebody that was based on one thing: music. I can safely say that while we extended past him moving away and not playing music together regularly for a good 12 years, which is amazing, but Barry Armstrong and our relationship was music. And then before then, music in the movies and being on stage, with stage one or with the chorus. But that was really the core, was the creative performing arts. And once that went away, again, slowly, it became evident we just weren't on the same page. And it really came to a realization was when I got sick, and I nearly died. And mind you, at the time he had just in the last few years had lost his father and lost his mother, and now here's somebody he's known since like 8th grade who could very well die. And I'll never forget him visiting me in the hospital and saying, I don't know what I would do if I lost somebody that I've known as long as I've known you. And it was after I came out of the hospital that I never saw him again. I mean, we never saw each other again. He never came up to the house. I never went back up to his house. Was never invited. He stopped having his Christmas get-togethers, stopped having his summer cookouts. He stopped everything. Just the core of the family had kind of broken apart. All 4 brothers went into the 4 winds. Here I go. I'm talking about somebody else's life, but that's where something just fell apart. But it was coming on for a while. Once the music was removed from the equation, there wasn't anything he and I had in common. I didn't share his interest in plants. He loves horticulture, birds, too. Football, I made myself become a fan of the Patriots. Really nobody else. Because that was something he and I and Steve Edmonds, the late Steve Edmonds, shared. And it was a way for me to do something besides jam with them. But I never really truly cared. I didn't care. I mean, you always want your home team to win. So when the Celtics won all those championships in the 80s, I was, yay, Celtics. But I never went to a game. When the Red Sox won the World Series out of the blue in the mid-2000s, I have to admit I cried. I cried for all the times they hadn't won. I cried for the 7-year-old in me who was so wrapped up in the team back then, 1967 Red Sox. That whole team, the whole Impossible Dream aura that came upon, that song, The Impossible Dream, became associated with the team. Because no one ever thought they'd win the pennant. They didn't win the World Series, but they went to the pennant, and that was like a miracle in and of itself. I cried for that 7-year-old. Finally got to see his team. They weren't even the same team anymore. But still, they won the World Series. So yeah, I got that kind of spirit for like Boston sports. And of course, when the Patriots are winning the World Series, here I go. They're winning the Cup. No, that's the Stanley Cup. Okay, they're winning the Super Bowl or in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm all for them, and I'm a Tom Brady supporter and all that. But I really don't care. My whole life is the arts, everything. Movies, poetry, music. My poetry. I don't really read regular poetry, though I must call out or give a shout out to a terrific poet I've met online through Twitter. Her name is Jessica Para, and she just reminds me of like modern Emily Dickinson. It just dawned on me like the other day why I like her stuff, why I connect with her writing, and because she just reminds me of the way Dickinson wrote these poems, these short poems, and made her point and on to the next. And she writes what she calls micro poetry, 6-7 lines, and she just hits it more than misses. I can't really think. I think when she's really new at publishing her stuff this way. So, speaking of, Sand and Ashes came out last Thursday, a week ago. Thursday. Already, I've gotten 4 reviews, 3 5-star reviews, more than any other book, and 1 4-star, so it's all good. I got 1 more coming in, and I've explained how that works. I go through readers' favorite, because they actually deliver. Now, you will get, by submitting to them, a one-time free review. If you want more than 1, you have to pay. But you're not paying for the quality of the review. because I've gotten, I got a 3-star from them, which is considered, they won't publish a 3-star. Only 4 and 5 stars will they like endorse, because 3 is like, it's good. And the only reason the person didn't like me that much was because they didn't care for the whole book. They didn't like some of the language I used. Hey, I really do work hard not to use that kind of language, but sometimes just the way it's expressed, But yeah, 3 5-star reviews, and but I can't give the book away. I've got a promotion through this other place, Story Cartel, and I posted Twitter and Facebook and a couple times on each. If you want, you can download a free copy of my book, so long as you check the box saying you will write a review. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. If you hate it, you hate it. You like it, you like it. You love it, you love it. So far, no takers. I suppose if I wrote a horror novel, maybe that would resonate. Don't know. But, what else? Yes, my teeth are rotting. I made the assumption that all toothpaste had fluoride. I haven't seen a dentist in ages because there's no insurance. And I was inspired to take a mirror, a real magnified mirror, and look at the bright lights in the other room and go like this, oh boy. All along the top gum line, not on the gums. Thank God. It's all like the enamel's worn away, and it's, pretty bad. So I have to wait, though, until my insurance kicks in, which won't be till October. But I thought all toothpastes had fluoride. Apparently not. So I specifically went out now and bought pure fluoride. I bought something that says fluoride on it. So, can't undo the damage, but it might just arrest it until it can be fixed. Hopefully no cosmetic work. I don't care. If you pull a tooth from back there, I don't care. I just don't want to whistle when I sing or talk. No whistling. No whistling allowed.